the Mystics were moving the 2 games that were coming to their town with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. They were moving them to Baltimore. I'm just going to point it out for all of you. This is Angel Reese's home stomping grounds, by the way. So moving to Baltimore.
The Washington Mystics have made a bold move by relocating their 2 games against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever to Baltimore. And guess what? That just so happens to be Angel Reese's hometown. If you thought the Clark vs. Reese rivalry was just about basketball, think again. This showdown has now expanded beyond the court and into entire cities.
They're going to say, see ya there, see ya there. Now, the Indiana Fever stated venue change, our regular season game on May the 28th, on September 7th at the Washington Mystics are moving to CFG Arena in Baltimore, bruh. So as y'all can see here, say game location change, CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland, CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. Somebody said, could it be the Mystic owner doesn't want the Caitlin Clark shine to be seen again?
The Mystics just pulled off the ultimate troll move by shifting these home games to Baltimore, Maryland. While it's clear this is a strategic cash grab, Reese's fans are absolutely losing it. The big question now is, why didn't they move the games to Capital One Arena in Washington, just like last season? Or did they just set Reese up for an embarrassing moment in her own backyard? Either way, WNBA chaos is about to unfold, and we're here for every second of it.
Official release, straight from the NBA website, man. Indiana Fever 2025 road games at Mystics moved to Baltimore. So Angel, man, I mean, listen, y'all made a big deal 2 weeks ago about a Caitlin Clark billboard being put up in Chicago, the Windy City, the 3rd largest city in the country. Of course, they're gonna have Caitlin Clark billboards. What are y'all gonna do about this? Baltimore, be more careful. 2 games.
The Indiana Fever officially announced that their regular season game on May 28th and another on September 7th, originally set to be played in Washington, are now being moved to CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore. Reese's fans are already spiraling, and honestly, it's hard not to laugh. Caitlin Clark is about to step into Reese's home turf, not once, but twice this season, and the meltdown from Reese's supporters is priceless. This, right here, is the Caitlin Clark effect in full swing, and let's be real, it has nothing to do with Reese's overhyped antics.
A very thin line between hate and facts. And what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means—
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1.
The WNBA has never seen a player command this level of attention in such a short time, and Baltimore is about to witness that firsthand. Just a few weeks ago, there was outrage over a Caitlin Clark billboard going up in Chicago, one of the biggest cities in the country. Now, what's Baltimore going to do? The same fans who were upset about that billboard are now watching as 2 of their team's games are moved just to accommodate the demand for Clark. Chicago fans got their first real taste of Clarkmania when she played there. The game was electric, the arena was packed, and the energy was unreal. But let's be honest, people weren't showing up to watch Angel Reese miss jump shots and throw tantrums on the court. They came to witness the spectacle that is Caitlin Clark, putting on a show and proving why she's the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA in years.
Jeez. Man. Y'all were mad about that billboard a couple of weeks ago. The Reese's Pieces were. I mean, I just... This is going to annoy Angel. I know it is. And I know that they had to because the MCI Center, whatever, Verizon Center is under renovation. But
The league has been waiting for a player like this, someone who brings excitement, fills arenas, and turns every game into a must-watch event. And no, that doesn't come from Reese's exaggerated celebrations after putting up mid-tier performances. Her notoriety is largely tied to Caitlin Clark, and it all started when she won the national title and immediately made Clark the center of attention. Now, Sky fans, who have convinced themselves that Reese is the future of the league, are scrambling. Every time Clark steps into their city, it serves as an undeniable reality check. Reese's supporters have spent months hyping her up, but here's the harsh truth. Can't be the face of the league if no one outside your bubble cares.
Yeah, let me tell you about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark has brought so many eyes to women's basketball that it's amazing. A dude named Acho, I forgot his first name, is something Acho.
Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah. He showed how in 5 days before the draft, she made the WNBA more money than they would have made in the next 5 years. With
Preseason game, Brazil versus the preseason game against the Brazilian national team sold out in 36 minutes, 15,000 fans. There's tickets for that game, upwards of $4,500.
The only time Reese is trending is when she's either complaining, missing wide open, layups, or stirring up drama. Meanwhile, Clark is rewriting record books, selling out arenas, and bringing an entirely new wave of fans to the WNBA. There's a fine line between hate and facts, and here's one you can't ignore. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the WNBA was growing at a steady 40% increase in viewership. Since her arrival, that number has skyrocketed to 400%. That's not just growth, that's a complete transformation. And here's the funniest part. Rival teams are finally admitting what we already knew.
I mean, all over. I mean, a lot of these tickets are crazy. But I'm just like, it's not even about the price for me. I'm just thinking about, like, I'm comparing the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky because they said that it was like Me Too. Like, you guys are watching women's basketball because of Me Too. I mean, bro. Everybody could get into this. Like, literally everybody could get into this game.
Her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
The WNBA thrives when Caitlin Clark is playing. Before she arrived, the league struggled to get national attention. Now, arenas are packed, TV ratings are breaking records, and suddenly every franchise wants a piece of the action. And let's be honest, it's not because Angel Reese is occasionally putting up double-doubles against average competition. It's because Caitlin Clark is a generational talent who makes every game a spectacle. A lot of people say Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That's wrong. She is the needle. She and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of the league's broadcast value last season. Merchandise sales shot up 500%. And of course, her jersey was the #1 seller.
The Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson goes on CNN and says that the entire WNBA should have been put on the cover of Time magazine. It is hard to get away from this conversation because it just keeps making national news. And to be frank, I've never seen a story in the WNBA get as much widespread coverage as this is getting. I honestly can't wait until the season's back in so we can get more about basketball talk. But back to this.
So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have. Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings.
Chicago fans are clinging to the idea that Reese is in the same conversation as Clark, but let's be real. Clark is drilling deep threes, threading impossible passes, and delivering highlight-worthy moments every game. Meanwhile, Reese hustles, sure, but there's a massive difference between being a high-effort player and being a true superstar. The WNBA is a business, and when it comes to ticket sales, merchandise, and TV ratings, the answer is crystal clear. It's not the player flexing after making a routine free throw. It's the one breaking records and bringing unprecedented attention to the league.
But I've got a theory that Sheila Johnson is trying to do two things here. Number one, she's trying to screw Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans. 6,000 less tickets available. Number two, while lining her pockets even more. Now, you might be like, well, Rhodes, I don't get it. Well, it's simple. Less tickets means the gate prices, all right? The gate prices for the game will actually go up. In other words, just like that preseason game, it's got tickets for $4,500. A run-of-the-mill game like this, we all know Caitlin Clark tickets are expensive.
Reese's fans were mad about that billboard a few weeks ago. Well, get ready, because this is going to annoy Angel even more. Yes, the Mystics' usual arena is under renovation, but that doesn't change the fact that they specifically chose Baltimore for these games. And it's not just fans struggling with this reality. The Chicago Sky organization is in an awkward position, too. They have to market Reese as their star, but every time Clark comes to town, she dominates the moment. The packed arenas, the jersey sales, the viral highlights, it's all about Clark. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters are grasping at straws, insisting she's great for the culture. But culture alone doesn't pay the bills.
Caitlin Clark doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. And if you need any more proof of that, the Indiana Fever exhibition game sold out in just about 30 minutes.
Hundreds in there. Don't play with them. There's some hundreds in there. Do not play with the Chicago Sky. There are hundreds in there. You see this? Okay. Oh, here goes the Indiana Fever. Wow.
Caitlin Clark has done something that no other player has managed. She's made the WNBA a mainstream conversation. In just 5 days before the draft, she generated more revenue for the league than they would have made in the next 5 years without her. That's the kind of impact she has. And yet, Reese's fans are still asking, why isn't Angel getting the same treatment? Why aren't teams bending over backward for her? The answer is simple. She's not Caitlin Clark. Clark is selling out. 10,000-seat arenas in minutes. The demand to see her play is so high that teams are literally moving games to bigger venues. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are looking around, wondering where their sold-out stadiums are. Reality check. Nobody is moving games for Angel Reese. Nobody is scrambling to find bigger venues because demand is through the roof. The WNBA already proved that when Clark isn't in the picture, the excitement just isn't the same. Reese's fans keep waiting for the world to treat her like basketball royalty, but the truth is undeniable. There are levels to this. Clark's impact is real, measurable, and unstoppable, while Reese is stuck playing the role of the loudest voice in the room, demanding respect she hasn't earned. The facts are right there. Fans aren't rushing to buy tickets to see Reese. They aren't forcing franchises to expand arenas just for a chance to watch her play. And that, right there, is the difference. Sheila Johnson, the owner of the Washington Mystics, recently made a speech about how the WNBA needs to spread attention to all players and not just Clark. Fast forward a few weeks, and now she's moving games to Baltimore because of Clark. The contradiction is laughable. If this was really about boosting the entire WNBA, why weren't they moving stadiums before? It's the same cycle every time. They refuse to give Clark credit while secretly benefiting from her. They downplay her impact, yet she's the reason arenas are filling up. the reason casual fans are tuning in, and the reason the league is seeing record-breaking interest. Clark just sold out her first Indiana Fever preseason game in less than an hour, yet people are still asking why she gets all the attention. Do they need a full PowerPoint presentation? This isn't complicated. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. Fans aren't just buying tickets, they're crashing ticketing websites trying to secure a seat. Meanwhile, other WNBA players are practically begging people to attend their games. Reese's fans can keep convincing themselves she deserves the same reaction as Clark, but that's like expecting a local garage band to sell out Madison Square Garden. Clark is turning casual watchers into lifelong fans, while Reese is just there. Clark is proving time and time again that she's the biggest name in the WNBA. Every game she plays is a full-scale event. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters are still acting like she's owed the same energy. But why? Because she taunted Clark once? Because she dances on TikTok? That's not enough. One player is selling out arenas in minutes. The other isn't even close. And that's the difference. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.